Magical Thinking Barbie here. I wanted to talk about a little bit about the different protests that are going on and the deep root of injustice that is part of our, well, I guess you could say it's the capitalistic system, but the capitalistic system was built upon colonialism and imperialism. And when you see these different countries, and even here in the United States, people fighting for reparations, when you see all these things coming together, I would think it would be really important to go really deep and to see how the whole system would have to be scrapped. You would have to eventually start seeing people as having human rights. And what would those human rights be? In my opinion, I think you should be able to have food and home for free. Now, I say this because we live on a finite planet and we have empty homes basically everywhere and many homeless. We have such a great choice of food that most of it is thrown away. So our system is very wasteful. The capitalistic system is wasteful because it's built on, how much money you have to buy whatever. So I see that we have to be more streamlined. We should be able to have food and home for everyone, because the other way is very wasteful. So going to our own country here in the United States and the original sin of slavery, which is then was spread across, it's spread across the world, because then we had people work for money, and then the money that they got, then and only then they could have food or they could have a home. And if, there were $1 million homes that couldn't be sold because no one was making enough money to even have those homes, we would just let those homes rot. We would just let food rot while Yemeni people aren't being fed, while people in our own country are out in the street not being fed. Okay, so you can see how this is systematic. So, as a descendant of slaves, and I've said this before, I'm not from the United States, I'm from Brazil. I would think that my ancestors would not want me to ask for money. They would want me to say, we want to tear down this system because it's inherently slavery. Not to, well, maybe you can get me into a better slave job. Maybe we can keep this going somehow. I don't imagine my ancestors ever thinking, yeah, hopefully they can get them into a house slave job. No, they would want this system tore down for everyone in the world because it's inherently about hierarchy, inherently about slavery.